is a South Florida Pete lover doing it again.
Yeah, it's not my style, but the only thing I could grab for today's video.
I'm gonna tell you right now, there's been a lot of skepticism around anything that they're doing with the line of Game of Thrones. But I'm gonna tell you right now, this we did a review on a Mortlach 20 about a few weeks ago, and that was exquisite. Now, Game of Thrones decided to do part of their lineup this Six Kingdoms Mortlach 15 YO, and I want to tell you, I've been completely surprised. And
I'm not so surprised when I open up the door and I jam my cock in your mouth.
well, his daddy never called him for his birthday, so he's a little upset. So please bear with me.
Yeah, that's because I was born December 32nd.
Yeah, so this is a 92 proof, which is really 46% alcohol by volume. Almost got a little dyslexic on you there. 750 ml, so they're doing this for the American market, for the U.S. market, and some other markets.
It's really red. Now
yeah.
See the light hitting it.
Yeah, and it's got a really nice. Look at this thing. They did a really good job with the presentation. I like what they're doing here. And so the Mortlach 20. This is finished in ex-bourbon cask, by the way. Finished in ex-bourbon.
But it's got to have some Oloroso or something.
I don't know. I can tell you right now, when you first smell it, you can see that we've not been really generous. We've been generous to ourselves pouring it, honestly, and we've been actually hitting it hard. And this is phenomenal. It goes down really smooth. I think you made a reference earlier that it reminds you of something else.
Kraganmore.
The Kraganmore. And so, I'm not a big Kraganmore fan. But they do make a good product, which is why they're still around for a while.
I think they're fucking Diageo too.
Diageo owns about half the world when it comes to like all kinds of liquor. Not just single malts.
Yeah.
They do a lot of other shit,
Or if you don't know how to do shit with your left hand, just fucking do your right.
I can smack the fucking mother of your kids with my left hand really hard in her face.
If you kill that bitch, you'll be doing me a favor. No more child support.
I'm just saying that, listen, to my nephews, if you ever watch this video, this was a joke. Yeah, let's just get that out of the way.
This has sherry, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, it definitely does.
I the first time I drank it, right? The very first time I was like, I don't know how to feel about it. I felt like the alcohol was too much for me. And then fast forward to like my second time and then my third time. The second time was more like, wow, this has got a lot of vanilla. The third time it was like, wow, this is really smooth. So, and I've been in my best health, posture, if you want to call it that, since every single time I've done this. So it's not like I've been completely blowing it. It's just been that I've been on some different shit every time. And so anything, I will say this though, the color right now, right? You can see it. It's not really dark, but it's got a beautiful, beautiful tone to it. It's got really great legs, and I think I went a little overboard on this pour, but you know what? It's okay because I can handle it. And this is great stuff right here.
Now, I'll tell you this. Earlier, we started, playing some pool, and we had in mind going back out there and try to see if we can put our hands on something, different. So we could have two options while we're, barbecuing and enjoying the last of the cold weather that the Northeast has to offer. So earlier, as I was drinking, I didn't think it had any sherry influence. However, now with the second pour, I'm recognizing I'm picking up a lot more vanilla, and then at the same token, I'm also picking up a lot of sherry though. I don't know what the sherry content is. I think it says there that it was finished in American bourbon cask, maybe.
It doesn't say American, but it's ex-bourbon.
Ex-bourbon,
excuse me, for sure.
So I don't know. I'm not too sure about the color. If it's whatever the color may be, I really can't tell whether it was influenced by something that was added to it or not, but it is a Diageo product, and they are known to color their whiskeys. To me, that doesn't really change anything. I'm just really about the enjoyment of the malt. And in this case, um, I really like it. I enjoy it, and it has a hefty tag though. I think it's like $1.49.
What? Oh yeah, no, yeah, it does.
It's hefty.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about what kind of discount we got, but I can tell you,
They know.
let's talk about how much we actually pay for it.
None. They know.
Yeah,
No. Well,
I guess that's irrelevant, right?
yeah, it is irrelevant. You guys know. Whatever.
Yeah,
Bottom line, the bottle's here.
yeah, the bottle's here, and whatever thoughts you arrive at, we're comfortable with that too. So, here's the bottom line, right? This thing right here is fantastic, but I want to give you a little bit of some of the notes here. When I first smell it, there's a lot of things that come to my mind, but the one thing I'll tell you right now, and I didn't think about this, I mean, I thought about it earlier, but just never talked about it. Is that the nose is almost like a La Santa.
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's like a Glenmorangie La Santa. It really smells just like that, but the taste is not that.
But it's intense, bro, because, on the nose you could pick up like if you were just sniffing a Abuna. That clean, high alcohol content, sherry oloroso, first fill Abuna.
Yeah, speaking of which, we got an Abuna batch 65.
I think the one we did 8 years ago was like 42, 43.
Yeah, it's in batch 65, I can tell you. I mean, we're not going to get into it right now, but it's coming, right? So that's is on deck right now.
It just seems to be higher than
Yeah, but you know what? The nose, I mean, I go to the La Santa, but I also am picking up like the nose almost like a Glendronach 12. Mortlach has opened up a new side of me that I had no idea, right? Like, the Mortlach 20 was fantastic. I've had the 12 before. This is my first time reviewing the 15, my first time actually doing the 15. And I've seen the 15 in other bars on the regular bottling like the 20-year-old was. This is the 15-year-old that they're bottling in.
Six Kingdoms.
In this particular one, which is the Six Kingdoms for the Game of Thrones lineup. Anyway, but I couldn't tell you the difference. I think what I would love to do is do a comparison between this one and the regular bottle and see if there's anything different. And so anyway, I wouldn't want to venture on that right now. Because I don't know what to tell you. I don't know the other one versus this one.
Earlier, I thought it was just vanilla. I even thought that there was no sherry influence whatsoever. And I mentioned that I thought it tasted and smelled just like Craggamore. Now, this is my second dram with this, and it's a totally different game. Now, I'm just picking up on this, and this is not really important, but being a Diageo malt, I know that Colila bottles and uses the same bottle. Same as Craggamore, which is what I was saying earlier, that I thought that this tasted just like Craggamore. And there's other bottlings that I can't really recall right now. I think Talisker uses the same bottle. And also, Talisker, what's the other one? There's a few.
Well, I mean, not that it means anything right now, but the 2019 Christmas Malt got the same bottle.
Yeah.
The Christmas Malt 2019 from the Whisky Exchange.
Yeah.
Got the same bottle. So, I don't know if that's going to lead us anywhere. I guess what I'm saying is just some comparisons for you to know that
Like
some of these things that got some similar characteristics.
Maybe it has something to do because they're all Diageo malts. Like Lagavulin too, it shows that it's tinted. It's a darker shaded bottle. It's not clear like this.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this right here is very long lasting. I just took like that sip, and it's still lingering, and it's been at least a minute, easy, and it's still like, it's almost like having something just like do some kind of work in there that is shifting from one side to the other, and it's like, what's going on? Anyway, so there's a lot going on here. I can tell you that I pick up vanilla. I pick up
Yeah. Very pronounced.
yeah. I pick up a lot of spices. It's really hard to say what kind of spices because it's got some peppery like punch to it right away.
Yeah, but I pick up.
But then it dissolves quickly.
Cinnamon too.
There is cinnamon in there for sure, like cloves for sure in there. And in the nose, I get vanilla, but I get a lot of alcohol that doesn't really translate to my palate. Right? Like the alcohol I'm picking up on the nose is not the way it feels when I drink it.
No.
What you get right away when you drink it is pepper, cinnamon, spices right away. And then they kind of dissipate, but they still linger for a while there. Is there a very interesting malt because it's got some.
It's complex.
Yeah, it's complicated, and the viscosity on it is okay. I've seen better legs. It's not really oily. It's not very viscous.
The point I was trying to come across earlier is that if this is a limited run, and they're not coming out with anything like this again, because obviously this is something that was venturing the Game of Thrones badge on it. If it does have indeed caramel added to it, why do it? I mean, this is not something that's consistently going to be on the shelves. Why do it? Why not just however it comes out of the barrel, just leave it like that. Again, it doesn't change my perspective of anything. It's just that I'm trying to make sense out of this. It does seem to have, and I'm not an expert at this, but I'm telling you, from what I gather, if it's like really reddish the way it is, it's because it's got something, they manipulated, they engineer the looks of it. It's just that the more natural that it is, I mean, the more I would like to see how it looks. But then again, whatever.
Well, you have anything else for this shit?
I don't know. The tag, for those of you, and we went to an ABC liquor store earlier, and there was only one left, and it was $149. I mean, $149 for a 15-year-old. I mean, Macallan has the final 15-year-old for like $140. That's out of control.
We saw the double caps when we were there.
Yeah.
That freaking
The
mammoth bottle.
Oh yeah, for $140. It's
$140.
It's 1.71.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
1.75 milliliters.
I'm gonna tell you right now. And that was my last $150.
Oh yes.
Right? That I had in my pocket, and I had an uncertainty of what I wanted to drink. This won't be it.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Nothing against this. I think it's a great malt. I don't think it's $150 deep malt.
It's good for what we pay for it.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Which is free. But I guess what I'm saying is, I got one of these. Well, you got one you're taking back home, but I got this one on a Swaparooski I did for $50 instead of $150. So I will not pay the $150 now that I know what I got, because $150 gets me some other quality stuff that I think I will be a little bit more keen on. I would love to have this in my bar. Now, let me tell you, this is sexy to have in your bar. No one's going to have this shit. Yeah. Not anybody's going to have it.
Really rare.
And so if it's just for the sake of fulfilling what your bar needs and stuff like that, I will absolutely tell you, get it. I think it's sexy. It looks good. They did a great presentation. It's got a nice color. And you will not disappoint anybody that's got a good palate. I think it will be great.
No, it is a good malt. It really is. I just don't think it's worth that much.
Yeah, there's a lot of other scotches out there that I can tell you honestly. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, I could get a freaking Glendronach 21, which is my favorite malt ever.
The Parliament.
The Parliament, for less than that.
Yes, it is. And it is that good.
If you want to put it into perspective. And so, if you want to take that a step even lower, I could go to the...
Look at the fucking cantina guy with his fucking glasses.
Yeah, I would go even a step lower. If I want to go to the 18 Glendronach, The Allardyce.
Which one is the Revival? The 15?
The Rival's the 15.
Okay.
The Rival 15, but the Allardyce is the 18.
Bro, that's a monster.
You get that cheaper than this, and I will be a lot more satisfied. It's all a matter of taste, crew, team. Listen, I am completely.
You don't even have to go that far. You could get an 18-year-old Glengoyne for a lot less than this.
A lot less.
An 18? Yeah, bro.
A lot less?
$1.19, $1.29.
Yeah, maybe about $20, $30, yeah. So,
yeah, but $20, $30 is a 24 pack of.
I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a place around the corner right here called Chicken Latino. Chicken Latino, you can feed a whole family, a family of 4 for $20. So $20 makes a difference.
So those $20 I
Yeah.
for the family.
Yeah, for one day you got your family fed.
Including the dog.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, for the South Florida P lovers, I'm gonna give you a thumbs up. They did a very good job on this. I don't know if the price point is something that I will entertain, but at the same time, I think you should get it if it's something that you think that your bar needs, if you want some diversity in there. Other than that, I don't have anything else. You got anything else for the crew?
No, stick around. We got an Abuna. 65
Yeah, Abuna.
badge.
Batch 65 coming right up.